we want than for our children to grow up to be strong, respectful members of society. When raising boys, the last thing we want is for them to be a jerk. The process of helping your son become a good guy starts early, and it's a tricky one. For some help on this very hot-button issue, we turn to Dana Kerford, founder of Girl Power and Good Guys, Inc. Dana, it's really nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
And very key timing right now. There's a lot of conversation about assault, sexual assault, these conversations about things that might happen a little bit later in life for some, but you have to start the conversation early with the boys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When I started Girl Power back in 2009, every co-gendered school I'd go into, the first question they'd ask is, what about the boys? Because boys too needed and need help and some strategies to help them put a voice to their feelings. So for boys, it is a little bit tricky. You know, they're kind of socialized to suck it up, be a man. And when I conducted the pilots for Good Guys, I did pilots in 11 schools across 3 countries. And the boys were so generous with their stories, and almost 100% of the boys told me that they've been told to suck it up, be a man. Right. And these are little boys between the ages of 6 and 12 years old. So it was a very fascinating experience for me, but realized that we need to give boys the skills and language to be able to develop healthy friendships. And of course...
Right. Well, what does that mean in terms of, okay, so you're taught, you're socialized to suck it up. So what does that mean in terms of how boys and then men relate to one another? And then what boys, the way that boys and men relate to females?
Yeah, so obviously our area and our focus is on friendship, and that's because the research shows very clearly that people who have healthy friendships are happier, they have an overall more positive well-being. For children specifically, they perform better academically, they're involved in more leadership roles, they have higher self-esteem, more positive body image. So this link to friendship is really, really critical. So for boys, it is really important that we're teaching them in this platform called friendship. We're teaching them how to manage conflict in a healthy way and put out these fires by using their voice so that they're less likely to engage in some unhealthy stereotypical behaviors like aggression. The other really interesting thing is I found in my research that boys, as they enter into adolescence, we're seeing them disconnect from their friendships. And this is at a time when the suicide rates and depression rates for boys are skyrocketing, because having close friendships is seen as it's seen as girly. You know, girls have best friends, boys don't. So boys are actually quite good at a young age at developing these close friendships. So we want to teach them how to create these meaningful, healthy relationships so that they are more likely to maintain those relationships later.
And what about, I know you do workshops that are specifically geared towards parents also, so what kind of support, I mean, it's one thing to hear about it in school, but the sort of continuum of having a good support network at home, what do you tell parents?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, almost 100% of the boys have been told to suck it up, be a man. We really don't want to tell boys that avoiding conflict we don't want them to do that. So just making sure that they're giving their sons time to talk and letting them know it's okay. The other really heartbreaking thing is that the boys have told us that, over half of them have told us that boys don't cry. And we want to make sure boys understand that boys do cry, and it's okay.
They're hearing that very early also, right?
Yes. Another thing that we heard from the boys was, so in Australia, about 75% of the Australian boys and about 60% of the North American boys told us that when they had gone for help from an adult around a friendship fire, the advice they were given was to get physical. Just punch him the next time he does that. So really important that we're not encouraging them to turn to physical aggression, that we're teaching them how to talk it out. We teach them step-by-step strategy, to retell the situation, explain how it made them feel. And the boys told me that almost all of them have been in a situation where they have had that urge. They've been tempted to punch their friend before.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that they are de-escalating these fires through conversation.
What age do you, or have you found that these conversations are important?
So we start working with boys as young as grade 1.
Right.
And up to grade 6, we really want to catch them in the preteen stage when they're shaping their morality, they're really figuring out who they are, and so that this becomes really a part of their core. So when they move into that next stage of life, they're equipped with some really good strategies to just, be healthy and happy.
And I know a lot of Calgary schools are on board, so they're part of the support network, right?
Yeah, so we actually have over 80 schools around the world who've adopted our Good Guys Friendology 101 curriculum.
Right.
We've worked with, over 30,000 boys and girls around the world, parents and educators as well. We've got a team of facilitators, and we've got a really awesome Good Guys presenter, Brent Hargraves, that is starting on our team this month, and we're really excited that he's going to be out there changing the world with us.
Well, Dana, this is really important work. Thank you so much for everything that you do. For more information and for workshops and information sessions, youarestrong.com. We'll make sure we put links on our website at breakfasttelevision.ca. Dana Kerford, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Nice to see you.
You too.